The Senate will come to order. The senators will take their seats. Those persons not entitled to the privileges of the floor will retire to the gallery. Good morning, senators.
Good morning.
Good morning, guests.
Good morning.
The senators and those who are in attendance, if you are able, please rise. We will be led in prayer this morning by Pandit Hitesh Doshi, translator Gautam Gandhi of the Jain Society of Central Virginia, Richmond. Following the prayer, everyone will please remain standing, and we will be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America by our Deputy Clerk, Jennifer Jones Welch.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. Madam President, members of State Senate, and Commonwealth members, thank you on behalf of Jain Society of Virginia. Thank you for inviting us for invocation. With that said, I'm going to invite our Pandit Hitesh.
Jai Jirendra to everyone. Namo Arihantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayariyanam, Namo Uvajjayanam, Namo Loe Savvasahunam, Eso Pancha Namukkaro, Savva Pavapanasano, Mangalanam Cha Savvesim, Padamam Havai Mangalam.
The Navkar mantra on a basic level is simply the fivefold salutation to the five spiritual entities of the universe. I bow to Tirthankaras, the perfected human souls, the Siddhas, the liberated souls, religious faith leaders, saints, and monks. To these five types of great souls, I offer my praise. Such praise will help diminish my negative vibration and sins. Offering this praise is most auspicious of all living souls in the universe.
Mangalam Bhagavan Viro, Mangalam Gautama Prabhu, Mangalam Sthuli Bhadradya, Jaina Dharmostu Mangalam, Upasargaha Kshayam Yanti, Chidyante Vignavallaya, Manah Prasannatameti, Pujyamane Jineshware.
All the troubles disintegrate. The shackles of obstacles break. The mind achieves a blissful state whenever and wherever Lord are worshipped.
Sivamastu sarva jagata parahita nirata bhavantu bhutagana dosha prayantu nasam sarvatra sukhi bhavatu loka.
May the entire universe attain bliss. May all living beings be oriented to interests of others. May people be happy and peaceful in the Commonwealth of Virginia and around the world. Thank you.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The clerk will call the roll. All those present, please vote aye. The clerk will close the roll.
You have a quorum, Madam President. Senate Journal for Tuesday, February 13th, 2024.
The senator from King George, Senator Stewart, moves that the reading of the journal be waived. Those in favor of waiving the reading of the journal will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 37, noes 3.
Ayes 37, noes 3. The reading of the journal is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the House of Delegates. Chair recognizes the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, Senator Sorovell.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Greetings from the JCPenney. My suit brings greetings from the JCPenney Men's Department. Men's Department. Men's. It's the Men's Department. Madam President, I move to waive reading of the House communications.
We have that same discussion in the Marines versus the Navy, Senator. The question is, shall the reading of the communication from the House be waived? Those in favor of waiving the reading of the communication from the House of Delegates will record their votes aye. Those opposed, no. Are the senators ready to vote? Have all the senators voted? Does any senator desire to change their vote? The clerk will close the roll.
Ayes 34, noes 6.
Ayes 34, no 6. The reading of the communication from the House of Delegates is waived. The clerk will report any communications from the governor.
I do not have any, Madam President.
We are now in our period we call the morning hour, and we will find out who all of you beautiful people are. And the procedure is your senator will rise and introduce you. And if you will hold your applause until after I've welcomed you, and then we will truly applaud you. And so with that, I do now call on the senator from Colonial Heights, Senator Sturdivant.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, we were very blessed to have opening our session today Pandit Hitesh Doshi from the Jain Society of Central Virginia. He was joined by a good friend of mine, Gautam Gandhi, who helped translate the prayer. And with us in the gallery are other members of the Jain Society of Central Virginia, which is in Henrico. We've got a wonderful community here in the Central Virginia area and all around the Commonwealth, and want to thank them and hope you'll offer them the warm welcome of the Senate.
Good afternoon again to you, and thank you, gentlemen, for coming. And thank you for the sacrifices that I know you're making in your community. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes the senator from Chesterfield, Senator Hashmi.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today we are joined by leadership from the Greater Washington Society of Clinical Social Workers, who represent members from Northern Virginia and the Virginia Society of Clinical Social Work. And this is a membership also from ROVA, the rest of Virginia. There are more than 10,000 licensed social workers in Virginia who serve in a variety of settings, united in their commitment to advocating for and improving the lives of individuals and families in a number of ways, including mental health assessment and treatment services. Madam President, I ask that we give them the warm welcome of the Senate.
Indeed. Thank you for coming. Good afternoon to you, and thank you for the help that you're giving to especially our mental health community. Certainly there is a great need, and we're glad that you are there, you and the rest of your members in your area of expertise. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair welcomes Senator McDougall, the senator from Hanover.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for introduction.
The senator may continue.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, we have a group of realtors in the gallery today, And there are some from Williamsburg, some from the Peninsula, some from Chesapeake and Rivers Association, and some from the Eastern Shore, all talking about advocating home ownership and property rights and housing opportunities. So, Madam President, if you, on behalf of Senator Locke, Senator DeSteff, Senator Diggs, and myself, if you could please offer all of them the warm welcome of the Senate and thank them for their efforts.
Thank you for coming. And we know that the largest purchase that any of us will generally make is our homes. And so we need your expertise to help us to do that. We're all about creating generational wealth. And so for some of us, the first home is the wealth that we create for the future. Thank you for your expertise. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Bagby, the senior senator from Enrico.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I rise for an introduction.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, in the gallery today we have Ms. Sandra Plant, a renowned figurative sculptor committed to African American memories from the dawn of time to the present. She was encouraged by her parents to become an artist after graduating with a baccalaureate in plastic arts. She went on to study art history, apprenticing as a sculptor. She creates her figures without models or photos, but from her dreams. In addition to her artistic activities, she offers sculpture workshops open to all, regardless of their skill. I invite Madam President, I would ask that you give her a warm Senate welcome.
Thank you also for coming, and we wish you even more and pleasant dreams. So, obviously, you're very talented. Thank you for being here. Senators, let us give her the warm welcome of her Senate. Chair recognizes Senator Aird, the senator from Petersburg.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an introduction.
The senator may continue.
Madam President and ladies and gentlemen of the Senate, today I'm pleased to introduce supporters of Planned Parenthood Advocates of Virginia, and I'd ask that they please stand. Madam President, Planned Parenthood Advocates of Virginia is the statewide advocacy organization whose mission is to preserve and broaden access to reproductive health care through legislation and public education. Through educational programs, advocacy efforts, and community partnerships, they empower individuals with knowledge, supports reproductive rights, and promote public health. As we recognize health care policy and advocacy, let us recognize and celebrate the invaluable contributions of the supporters and Planned Parenthood Advocates of Virginia. And I'd ask that you join me in giving them a warm Senate welcome.
Good afternoon to you, and thank you for coming and seeing your Senate in action. Senators, let us give them the warm welcome of their Senate. Is there any other business to come for the morning hour? Hearing none, the clerk will call the calendar.
We have no business before the Senate today, Madam President.
Do not know how to proceed. Senator Locke, the senator from Hampton. For what purpose does this?
Madam President, I rise on a point of personal privilege.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, over 20 years ago, I attended the 5th African American Summit in Accra, Ghana. While there, I took a side trip to visit Elmina Castle. This place was anything but a castle. Elmina sits on the Atlantic Ocean on Ghana's Gold Coast. It was erected by the Portuguese in 1482 as a trading post and is the oldest European building in existence south of the Sahara. Elmina Castle became one of the most important stops on this route of the Atlantic slave trade. To visit this place was beyond sobering. To see rooms meant to hold 50 people in which 400 people were placed was beyond witnessing the inhumane, or seeing the so-called breaking rooms for those who refused to have their freedom taken away from them was also beyond witnessing the inhumane. As one wandered through the castle, you eventually ended up at a door with a sign above it called the Door of No Return. This door opens up onto a beautiful beach on the Atlantic Ocean. For the many captured Africans, it was the last they saw of their homeland, as boats rowed them to the slave ships waiting offshore. As I stood in that door and on that shore, emotions were mixed. I wondered just how many Africans had come through that door, never to see their homes or families again. I wondered if one of those individuals had been an ancestor. I wondered how many of those who were led onto those slave ships survived the Middle Passage. I thought to myself, if indeed an ancestor had come through those doors in chains and shackles, landed in the hold of that slave ship, he or she survived. Not only that torturous voyage, but slavery, Jim Crow, and all manner of legal injustices. Why? Because here I stand. Slave trade was legal. Slavery was legal. Jim Crow was legal. Legality is a matter of power, not justice. The worst of crimes will be committed in public, and being legal doesn't make it right. I tell this story so all will understand my passion for strong support of the Virginia Legislative Black Caucus's legislative agenda, focusing on civil rights and democracy for all, justice reform, economic opportunity, and support for workers, housing, health care, education, public safety, the environment, and legacy reforms. Why I am so passionate about African American history, and in this month of Black History, why it is so important to recognize that history, not as book reports, in February, as the senator from Petersburg has so aptly put it, but as an integral part of American history. Our story is America's story. Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Hashmi, the senator from Chesterfield.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for 2 points of personal privilege.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Today is Valentine's Day, as we all know, and what better day to recognize that this February is the 60th annual American Heart Month. The goal of Heart Month is to drive nationwide awareness of heart disease, and the country has made enormous strides in the diagnosis, treatment, and prevention of cardiovascular disease over the past 6 decades. But we still have much to do and to discover in this fight. We are so fortunate in Virginia that the top heart hospital in the state is headquartered just across the street from where we stand, and that's the VCU Health Poly Heart Center, which for the past 20 years has been making a statewide impact through its first-in-class clinical care, cutting-edge community-based research, as well as training and development for the next generation of cardiovascular clinicians and researchers. The most important thing that we can do in the fight against heart disease is to encourage the growth of our shrinking cardiovascular care workforce and to break down the barriers to heart health care and prevention that so many in Virginia experience. And for these reasons, this month, I hope you'll show your love to your fellow Virginians and join me in supporting additional resources toward the fight for improved heart health all across the Commonwealth. And Madam President, my second point of privilege is for an individual that we all know and that we cherish here in the Senate body, and that is Mr. Bladen Finch. Some of us know what his present situation is this week, and I know that we have missed Mr. Finch for these past 2 days. Mr. Finch, as we all know, is the director of our Senate Page program, and in large measure, the growth and the success and the wonderful accomplishments of the Senate Page program are due to the hard work, the dedication, and the full commitment that Mr. Finch provides to all of our Senate Pages. Today, Mr. Finch is undergoing a very serious surgery. He is in good hands at UVA Health System hospitals, and he has reassured those of us who have spoken to him that he has the best of care. But as he undergoes his surgery today, I hope that we will each keep him in our hearts and in our prayers and wish him full recovery. He will not be back this session. It is a long and painful recovery, but I hope we will all continue to send good wishes to Mr. Bladen Finch. Thank you, Madam Chair.
We thank the Senator. Chair recognizes the senior senator from Fairfax, Senator Marsden.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for 2 brief announcements.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. This Friday morning, 9 o'clock, there will be a brief meeting of the Agriculture, Conservation, and Natural Resources Committee at a site to be determined. We'll let you know, but we're going to deal with about a half hour's worth of work to deal with some cognates and identical bills, a few other matters. We'll get that out of the way. So hopefully we can get through our 60-plus bills coming over from the House in 2 meetings. And that's my first announcement. We will get out to you as to the exact location and obviously a docket. And the second announcement is that, Madam President, the Ring of Honor is exploding. We are getting contributions to the Massey Cancer Center. Still have a little work to do, and we know how to do that work. So let's get our contributions in, and then it's on to the basketball game. Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes the senator from Eastern Fairfax County, Senator Sorovell.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an announcement.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a Courts of Justice meeting after session day. I'd like everybody to get there 15 minutes. I'd like that meeting to start 15 minutes after we adjourn instead of 30. We've already got 101 bills referred to us to knock out in 2 weeks, and there's going to be more given what just came out of the House yesterday. So we need to get moving, and hope everybody can come 15 minutes early so we can get working.
Chair recognizes Senator Bagby, the senior senator from Enrico.
Thank you, Madam President. I rise for an announcement.
The senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I introduced earlier Sandra Plant to the body, but this weekend I had the pleasure of seeing her work at the Black History Museum here in Richmond, and I would encourage other members of the body to take your loved ones to see Stolen Lives, Dreamed Lives, which is her exhibit at the Black History Museum until the end of the month. And so, Madam President, that is, again, Stolen Lives, Dreamed Lives by Sandra Plant. And I think you'll be in for a treat at the Black History Museum. Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator Rouse, the junior senator from Virginia Beach.
Thank you, Madam President. All right. So if you're unable to be with your significant other today because of this,
Your purpose,
arise for announcement.
the senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. If you're unable to be with your significant other today because of distance, we have basketball practice tonight where you can come and be with us. If you are somehow in the doghouse because you didn't get your significant other a gift, we have basketball practice tonight, so you can come be with us. So with that being said, basketball practice tonight at 7 p.m., and I hope to see you all there. Same location. Thank you, Madam President.
Chair recognizes Senator DeStaff, the senior senator from Virginia Beach.
Madam President, I rise for an announcement.
The senator has the floor.
Madam President, tomorrow morning at 0800, we have the Aviation and Aerospace Caucus in room 600 South. Thank you very much. Happy Valentine's Day.
Is there any other business to come before the Senate? The clerk will report any announcements on the desk.
Today, Wednesday, February 14th, 2024, Committee on General Laws and Technology will meet 30 minutes after adjournment in Senate Room B, GAB. The Committee for Courts of Justice will meet 15 minutes after adjournment in Senate Room A, GAB. This is a time change. The Committee for Courts of Justice will meet 15 minutes after adjournment. Tomorrow, Thursday, February 15th, 2024, the Finance and Appropriations Subcommittee on Health and Human Resources Work Group will meet at 7:30 a.m. in the Senate Finance and Appropriations Room, 13th floor, GAB. Senators Deeds, Eben, Obenshain, Reeves, Favola, and Boysko. The Legislative Black Caucus will not meet. The Committee on Education and Health will meet at 8:30 a.m. in Senate Room A, General Assembly Building. The Republican Caucus will meet at 11:15 a.m. in Senate Room 2 in the Capitol. The Democratic Caucus will meet at 11:30 a.m. in Senate Room 1 in the Capitol. And the clerk sends a message, Happy Valentine's Day.
Chair calls on Senator Lucas, the senator from Portsmouth.
Thank you, Madam President. Madam President, I move that the Senate do now adjourn until 12 noon on tomorrow.
The question is, shall the Senate adjourn until 12 noon tomorrow? All those in favor of that motion will say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is agreed to. The Senate stands adjourned until 12 noon tomorrow.